What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of It's Brewin at McEwen, a USF baseball podcast. I'm your host, John Kaplan, and today we are joined by USF senior outfielder Ryan Pruitt. Pruitt's been a key piece for the Bulls since arriving last season, serving as the team's everyday leadoff hitter, center fielder, and spark plug. He currently leads the team in RBIs and is second on the team in stolen bases. Ryan, I appreciate you joining us today. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
We're doing better now that we got back on track,
Oh,
treating
yeah.
Memphis as deserved. But I'm looking forward to seeing more good baseball this weekend, and let's get to it. So, you had a pretty interesting path that led you to USF. Originally from Trophy Club, Texas, in the DFW area. Um, Before we get into everything, I got to know, are you a Dallas sports fan?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would go watch the Rangers at the old stadium growing up. Been to a couple Cowboys games, Mavericks games. I've been to all of them. And some Stars games too recently. So,
You knew I was going to ask about the Stars too. A
oh
man
yeah.
after my own heart, man. Those are literally all of my pro teams. We were chatting a little bit earlier. We would have liked him to be a Longhorns fan, but we'll deal with we'll go without for now. So you played at three different JUCOs across Illinois, Texas, and Arizona. You were originally recruited by Coach Hannes at Indiana State. So walk us through what that was like, what your relationship with Coach Hannes was like before coming to USF, and then the journey that led you here.
Yeah, so he recruited me my sophomore year out of Arizona. And originally they had seen me my freshman fall when I was in Illinois at like a big showcase tournament, but they had never reached out then until my sophomore year. So they were just sort of watching from the shadows over the next 2 years, and then finally reached out sophomore year, went on a visit there, loved everything about Indiana State, the coaches, the way that they coach, everything. I loved it. And so decided to go with Hannes.
What are some of the pillars, because a man of principle, I would describe myself as. So, like, for me, um, being a people person, that's what's going to make a difference for me, especially with like NIL not making a huge splash in baseball yet. And I like to think that baseball players are a little more loyal. But what are those core pillars for you that really just said made Hannah's that guy for you?
Yeah, for sure. He like the way he goes about his business, he's like straight to it. He'll tell you straight up what he thinks. And he always tells us, like come to the park mad, be ready to work, like you're on a 3 game losing streak. And feel like that fits the way I work also. I'm showing up every day, working hard, even in practices, going about like playing it like it's a game situation. So just
Yeah, I agree. I talked about this with Sine. Did you catch that interview last week with Sine? Yeah, so just playing mad, playing for the guys on your island. Um, when you get off the bus, they're gonna know who the hell we are, kind of thing. And really, people don't really realize that when they're watching people doing nothing on a baseball diamond, it's nine alpha males, that are just hungry as hell, and and I'm glad that he's implementing that culture, just because it really adds character, and I think that it shows on the field for sure. How did uh how did JUCO ball shape your development as a player?
yeah, I think I was fortunate enough to play pretty much every game in JUCO. So I think getting that experience in those grittier type situations really helped me be able to battle through any situation that I'm faced with now. It's just all that experience and tons of at bats, long practices. It's really helped me to not struggle as much at this level as maybe some of the younger guys that are, haven't been through that experience yet. But I think, yeah, it's just,
No, I like that. Um, so would you say there's a lot of variability in the difference in like talent level between JUCO and D1?
I'd say it depends on where you're playing at in JUCO
Yeah.
because in Texas, like region 5, I believe it is, with McLennan, Clifford, all of those teams. Those are a bunch of solid teams out in Arizona where I was at. You have Central Arizona, South Mountain, Pima. They're all really solid JUCO teams. So I think it just depends on where you're at with the JUCO. And
Yeah,
Florida too. I know there's a bunch of teams that
for
all
sure.
distinction.
Yeah, I mean Santa Fe is a feeder school for UF. Back in the day, when I went to Seminole State, they were actually really good there in Orlando for a while. But yeah, there's definitely a few good JUCOs in the area, especially in like Hillsborough area as well too. So we're gonna move on to the next topic here. One thing that really stands out about your game is your speed and athleticism. So your bio lists a 40-inch vertical. That is insane. But where does that athleticism come from?
The vertical, I'm not sure where that came from. I just over like my senior year of high school, I was at this like training facility for baseball, and they were really keying in on like explosiveness. And one of the tests that we would do was verticals, and where one day I was just testing it and was got up to 40. Was surprised, but like with my speed, I wasn't always the fastest when I was younger. I mean, I was one of the faster kids, but not like my speed as it is now. And my dad and I, we would go to my middle school, like after my senior year of high school during the summer, we would go run sprints. And we started off with a parachute. And, that's good for resistance running, but that was sort of dependent on the wind direction.
Right.
We came up with this idea to use a recycle bin, put two 10-pound weights and like the drive line baseballs that pitchers use, throw that in there, get a rope and tie it around my waist, and I would race him for resistance running.
I was gonna ask what you did to get those the vert and the sprint speed. So that's awesome. Okay. Did he ever win?
Not usually.
No?
Only towards the end when I'd be tired.
All right. All right. What would you say is like what's been your favorite state to play in? Because I mean, I see Illinois, Texas, Arizona, and now Florida. You got some different climates in there. So what would you say has been your favorite place to play so far? Not necessarily school, because we know that's USF, but like in terms of just state.
I'd say Florida's in first place. I
All
love
right.
it. It's awesome, especially being close to the beach. But I'd
Yeah.
say Arizona is a close second, especially being up in Prescott in the mountains. That
Yeah.
was really cool to be up there with the Sedona, the Red Rocks, and all that. It's just a beautiful place to be.
I haven't heard of that. What town is that in Arizona? Prescott, you said?
Prescott.
Is that near Flagstaff?
It's, I believe, like 2 hours south of Flagstaff, hour and a half ish.
Okay, yeah. That's definitely a bucket list for me. And Arizona is a place that my wife and I have talked about living multiple times.
Sure.
Beautiful area, and I'm a big fan of the Red Rocks out there and stuff like that. And done a lot of hiking out there in Utah and Colorado and all that. So what other sports did you play growing up?
I played soccer for about 4 or 5 years when I was probably 10, around there.
Hmm.
Played football for 1 year in fifth grade, tennis my eighth and ninth grade year, and I did track and field in seventh grade, but not really.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
baseball.
I was kind of laughing there because I was watching I think it was the Mets last night with the wife because she's a huge Mets fan and they were talking about a player who had mentioned playing tennis growing up and his dad never really understood why and uh, basically he was just like I don't have to depend on anybody else and for me that was a big thing too like I actually got cut my senior year. We were really talent rich on my baseball team. Had like five scholarships to UCF, two to upstate, and then a couple D2 in private schools. uh, so yeah, I was out of there, but I ended up walking onto my tennis team and fought my way up for the fifth position. And I've always really had a lot of love for tennis, so I think that's funny that you played tennis as well. What would you say is your favorite sport outside of baseball?
With tennis, out of the ones
You,
that I played.
you ever play any golf?
Occasionally, but I mean, every time I try to swing, especially with the driver, it just slices.
Hmm. You swing lefty or righty?
I can do both.
Yeah, because I learned how to. I throw right, bat left, but the hand-me-down clubs that I got were right-handed, and
Yeah.
it took me about couple years to realize that I was a lot better left-handed. But I'm bad at golf. We won't even talk about it.
And if you go play golf with my friends, they're all righties, so I would just have to use the righty
Yeah,
clubs and then sort of
yeah.
develop that.
So it sounds like most of the other sports that you played leading up or throughout your life were kind of younger, except for tennis, was just basically the on-field result and the progression and the attention that you were getting in baseball. Is that what led you to stick with baseball, or has it always been baseball from day one?
It's I'd say it's always been baseball from day one, but I tried the other sports and I was pretty good at them, but I think baseball was what I knew I wanted to do long
Yeah.
term. And it's especially because with our the tennis what do you call it? Season was in the fall at my high
Hmm.
school. And so that would conflict with our fall baseball schedule. And
Right.
I wasn't able to participate in that. And I wanted to do that. And so I decided to be done with tennis to go do baseball.
That's interesting. Tennis was always a spring sport in Florida.
Yeah.
Um, So we'll kind of switch gears here. Actually, one more question. Did you play any other positions when, because JUCO is kind of, leaving it all out on the field and next man up kind of deal. Did you ever play any other positions other than center field?
No. Uh,
No? Okay, cool.
in high school, I played first base primarily, pretty much. But once I got
Never
into
pitched.
this outfield, I pitched my sophomore and senior year.
Okay. So as far as your approach at the plate and bat and lead off, that's not an easy job. Um, but you are probably the best on the team in putting quality at bats together. When you don't have four hits, you're getting on base with three walks. You're seeing pitches. You're telling the team what to expect. Um, how do you go about putting that consistency together day in and day out? What do you do to prep to be the leadoff hitter and also to be patient and not try to do too much, because we had a little bit of a stretch, where the results weren't what we wanted and it gets easy to press in that situation. And baseball is so mental. So try to answer all 19 of those questions for me.
Yeah. But, being the leadoff guy, I always just try to get on base, create havoc for the rest of the lineup and the guys. But I think going up there, knowing that whoever the other team is throwing out there as their starter is most likely going to be pretty good with the strike zone and going to throw good pitches for the most part. So knowing going up there, being ready to hit anything in the zone that I see is a good pitch, and also trusting my eyes to not swing at the bad pitches or off speeds and allow myself to take borderline pitches that the umpire might call a strike. And then if I do fall down to two strikes, knowing that I can either battle, stay alive, or put a good bat to ball and not swing at any junk.
Yeah. What have you thought about the umpiring this season? You can plead the fifth here, but I have my own opinion.
Mhm. I feel like it's been good for the most part. There's been some calls that I haven't agreed with, but I
Yeah,
think that's everywhere with umpiring. But I feel
it's
like it's
part of
been
the sport, right? Human error.
yeah.
What's your opinion on the ABS and all the challenging and stuff that's coming in? Do you think it's good or bad for the sport?
I think it's good because it gives the batters a chance to sort of like fight for what they know with their eyesight. What they know is a ball or strike. It allows them to
Yeah.
sort of give their input and challenge if they think it's not the correct call.
And catchers and pitchers as well. Because I mean, if you look at Salvi, I don't think Perez has missed a challenge yet, and he's one of my favorite catchers to watch. He's just incredible. He looks like he's 50, but I mean, the dude just rakes, and he's one of the best behind the plate since
Oh,
Yachty. I would argue. So, How does that approach when how does that approach? All right, so you're seeing a pitcher for the first time. How does that approach differ from the second and third time through? And also, how does your approach change with two strikes?
So with the multiple times through seeing the same pitcher, we have the scouting report, all their pitches. And so I'll take what I saw pitch wise the first at bat and compare that to what all he throws percentage wise. And let's say if I didn't get this guy's fastball slider changeup and I only saw fastball slider my first at bat, I'm knowing that I'm probably going to see a changeup or something other my second, maybe third time through. So just going up there and being ready for more than just two pitches. And then when I get to two strikes, anything close, if I think it's anything close, just either try to foul it off or if it's a good pitch to hit, try to do damage. But for the most part, just try to put the bat on the ball and use my speed run.
Yeah, speaking of that, you've always been a pretty strong contact hitter. You've got a good barrel rate. Last season, you were amongst the best on the team with a 15% K rate, and now it's down to 8. Is that something that, you know, in season that you notice that you're doing, or are you just trying to stay fundamentally sound, stick to the basics, short compact swing, work inside out, the fundamentals, or is it something that you actually strive like I'm not striking out today?
I think it's more the fundamentals, trying to stay quick to the ball, but also telling myself that I'm not going to strike out, that I'm going to get a hit, you know, or that I'm going to walk, not swing at anything bad. But I think it's more me just going back to the basics and doing what I know works and what I know how to do.
So we have a lot of Bay Area high school students, listening to this podcast as well. What would you say? You gave us some drills for speed and for athleticism, verticals and things. What would you say if you had to narrow it down to one or two drills that if you're going through a slump and you need to get back to it, or you just focus on for that barrel rate, focus on for making consistent contact, what would you say those drills were for you growing up?
For me, it was like hands to the ball or knob to the ball, like
Hmm.
really trying to drive the knob of the bat through the ball and then whipping, whipping at the end right before contact. I think that's been one of the things that I've has always worked for me throughout my life. And that's what I've sort of gone back to that this year. And especially a lot of top hand too.
Yeah.
That's something that works for me. One hand bat drills. And I think those two things for me of what I've been focusing on this year.
And that's evident, that whip you talk about. I mean, you're not like the biggest dude on the team, but you've put some out of the park that are just like, God bless. So it's like it's really just that really getting that whip through, and that's good to hear. So as a leadoff hitter, I mean, we kind of talked about this, but is there a specific mindset that you go step into the box when you step into the box? What's your mindset?
Just see it and hit it. If it's a good pitch to hit in the strike
Yeah,
zone, make good contact.
keep it simple. I like it. Um, Shift gears here to some more personal stuff here. Your family, they've been great supporters of USF, also of our podcast. They make the trip from Texas to come watch you play, and they support you and the program both. How is that support? What has that support meant to you throughout your journey, and has that been pretty constant no matter where you're playing?
Yeah, it means a lot for them to come out and watch me, especially as much as they do now. Like when I was in up here my freshman fall, they couldn't come out as much just because I was sort of far away, and this is my freshman year. But they came out for Thanksgiving. They drove out there. We went up to Chicago for a little bit. And then once I moved to Texas for my spring, it was a little closer, only 4 hour drive. They were able to drive most weekends over there. And then once I got to Arizona, my dad, he got an Airbnb out there and stayed for pretty much the whole season. And my mom would go back and forth weekends that she could with work. And my dad's doing that again this year. Same thing as in Arizona. He's staying here in an Airbnb, so he's pretty much at every single game. And it's awesome for them to be able to come out and watch me pretty much anywhere.
No, that is cool. I've gotten a chance to get to know your dad pretty well. I've shot Karina a few messages as well. Had to give her crap about being an A&M fan. But I don't think before today, I don't think I realized that, that they're home based in Texas, but they're your dad's staying in Airbnb. That's crazy. Is your dad able to still work? Do your parents still work right now?
Yeah. So my mom, she's a home designer, so she gets more like off time. She only has to go into the office, I think, a couple times a week now. And then
Okay.
my dad, he has his own little small IT company that he does work for larger companies for, and he
Hmm.
also does thumbtack on the side, so sort of like handyman jobs. He'll go to people's houses or buildings and just fixer upper handyman stuff. So he can do that from pretty much anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah, that's awesome. No, I like that. So do you have any siblings?
I have an older sister.
And where is she located?
She's at home. She is a an influencer talent manager.
Okay.
She sort of manages influencers, I think inboxes, helps them get brand deals and stuff. So she can do that from wherever also. And she was here for the first about month of season with my dad.
Oh, awesome. That was going to be my next question. Let's switch gears here. Go to a little bit of team culture and some fun questions here. There's a few questions that we like to hone in on. But we'll start it easy here. What do you do? What do you like to do on your free time in the area? Just kind of rest up, or is there anything that you do to kind of, get that release and kind of just chill?
Yeah, well, in the fall and early spring, we would go play pickleball a lot.
Okay.
That was one thing that me and some of my teammates, we would like to go do, play pickleball, hacky sack,
All
just
right.
stuff
That's a
random.
hacky sack. That's some 90s kid stuff there, bud. I like that. Who's the king of the court in pickleball? I mean, you said you like tennis, so I would presume it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So who else is coming? Who else comes close?
Um, James, he's pretty decent. But we would go play with some of the beach volleyball girls, and some of them are pretty good.
Yeah. Well, smart kids. What's the favorite restaurant you have in Tampa?
I'd say it's poke spot, right on off to the catty corner of campus southeast,
Mhm.
right next to Qdoba. I like I like my sushi.
Pregame meal, what is it?
Hmm. A lot of days would be like a pot pie and tater tots.
Carb up. Love that. Um, again, we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but what's your favorite hobby outside of baseball?
Probably video games.
What are you ripping right now?
Right now, Apex and Rocket League.
Okay. Never played Apex. I have heard of Rocket League though. Not a big gamer myself. Definitely collect baseball cards. Who's your favorite baseball player right now?
Corey Seager.
Love that.
Yeah.
Um, does his approach kind of frustrate you at all? That first pitch swing rate?
No, not really. Because I feel like
Man,
I kind of do that too sometimes.
he just gets so swing happy though. And man, I think he has like but I mean, when you're putting up numbers like he does, I guess we can't really say much, can we?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Seager is definitely one of my favorite players as well. I would probably have to go with Wyatt right now and Jack. Those are probably my two on the squad that are just like they fire me up whenever I watch them. Have you ever gotten into collecting or anything?
Not really. I've never been a big card collector.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to get you and Sinead's collection started up. I'll send you over. I've got plenty of Corey Seagers that I can
But yeah,
throw your way. It's one of my biggest collections, so I will package those up together for y'all.
awesome.
So between you and Jevin Rutherford, who wins in a race? We'll call it Let's do a 60 and keep it true to baseball.
I don't know. 'Cause I never really get to see his like top end distance speed,
Hmm.
but I know he's really quick off the go. So I'd be interested to see. We were talking about this, I think, on maybe yesterday's game in the dugout. We were talking about
Hmm.
this, like, pretty recently about who's faster, and we don't know because we just haven't seen Jevin's top end speed yet.
Right. Um, is there anybody? Well, I would say probably ET and Bradkey are two names that come to mind in terms of speed that could, be in the same conversation. Is there anybody else that, because we actually have a lot of speed on this roster. I mean, even triple runs. So, who would you say can hold their own with you guys speed wise?
I think Jacob Green's definitely another one that's up there with speed.
Okay, yeah. That's a very obvious one that I definitely omitted. My bad, Jacob. Um, so your walk-up song, Unwritten. It sounded like I thought it may have been like a hazing or just like the teammates razzing you and making you do it.
Mm.
But you're a senior, you're a leader on this team, so I don't think you're going to get hazed into many situations. So tell us what made you go with Unwritten. Great vocals, by the way. I love the song. I mean, closet fan. However, um, what made you go with that as your walk-up song?
I think last year in the fall when I was hanging out with all of my friends, we were just I think maybe a song came on in the car one day. I don't know. One of them suggested that it should be my walk-up song, and it just I liked it, so I went with it.
Solid. I love that. Um, there's an inscription on, or there's something on your glove. What does that say in green on your glove? Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's like on the thumb piece. It just says Lord Farquaad.
Where'd that come from?
From high school, my freshman year, my hair was like down to my shoulders, and my friends called me Lord Farquaad.
And it just stuck.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. Um, who is not going to get the ox when you guys are jamming out as a team? Who are you refusing to hand the ox to? Because Sine said it was early.
Yeah, I would also go with Nate.
Oh man, poor kid. Okay. Can you give me any like reason as to why? Like, what is this kid playing?
Most of the times he just plays Drake exclusively.
Mm,
So it's sort of like the same songs, but
yeah, yeah. I know how that goes. I was a Drake fan early on, but it's just like sometimes when you're in the gym and you need to get fired up, but you don't want to be hearing about, Tuesday nights alone. So what's on the headphones when you're listening, just by yourself, vibing out?
anything. I have a liked playlist and it has like
Pretty
almost
much
almost
a whole lot of
3,000
everything.
songs. Yeah, 2,700 songs. So I just shuffle through that and whatever I'm feeling like listening to at that time, just I'll just skip through until I find something.
All right. Yeah, I like it. I have eclectic style with music as well. So, who would you say is your favorite artist right now then? If you had to pick one.
Mm, Chris Stussy.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Can't say that I've heard of him. Um, so as far as future interviews go, who would you say are one or two guys that we should get on the pod coming up?
I'd say mm, either like Brad Key, Jacob Green, or like Eli Thomas. One of those.
We're gonna let whatever's going on with ET sort out before I try to get him on a pod. I hope we see him back on the field soon. Um, that just looked like a pretty kind of like a rough AC joint injury to me, and we are big fans of his on this show. Him and Lutz are bringing some energy as freshmen. That
Yeah.
is super refreshing to see, and he was really starting to get his timing down and really starting to hit some balls real hard, dude. So we're pulling for him and hope to see him on the field real soon. Um, and then what's it called? So then we had Bradkey last year, but I would love to have Bradkey on again because kid's killing it this year. I he is just on fire, and we need more of it. So, um, and are there any two guys that would pair well together, you think?
I think maybe Jacob and Jevin. I think they
Okay.
would.
I actually really like that. Jacob and Jevin, I like that. Well, listen, man, I know y'all got a game later on today. I just have one request. Being a Rangers fan, you remember the when they used to do something good, they would do this across their jersey.
Mhm.
It was like basically saying like Texas, right?
Yeah,
If you hit a bomb today, when you touch home plate, can we see it?
for sure.
Do it
Yeah.
for the boys. Hell yeah. Listen, Ryan, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. I know we had some scheduling difficulties, but we're always going to work around that. And good luck today. Good luck this weekend. Good luck the rest of the season. And I'm sure we'll be in touch, brother. Is there anything you want to say to the fans before we sign out?
Go Bulls.
As always, go Bulls, and don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on whatever platform you are following us on. Keep those horns up and pack the red today. Go Bulls.